The Silver Screen Cynics.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is Jared.
And I'm Michael.
I'm Ian. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
What's up, y'all?
We're going to be focusing, since the Ghostbusters is just coming out, and, you know, that's a reboot. Probably a reboot that no one wanted, but we're getting it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Our episode is going to be focused on movies and or franchises that we would like to see rebooted ourselves, and our ideas on how to improve them, maybe.
Yes, indeed. Sometimes they're green-lighted, sometimes they're in development. I think some movies that we're going to mention have been tossed around by studios, but nothing to even get probably an approved script. So
Yeah, it's tough because you gotta balance bringing in new ideas with upsetting the fan base, and
right.
So that's where Ghostbusters is kind of in trouble right now.
Yeah.
Which it apparently is getting great reviews.
Yeah.
So
it could be good.
Yeah, I think just like the internet nerddom is just
Overwhelming.
or just like
Bunch of neckbeards trying to keep the women down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a man's film.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. Why don't you start us off, Ian?
All right, cool. So I'm going to start mine with, I'm going to say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I would love to see Brendan Fraser or whatever as the Caractacus Potts Dick Van Dyke character. So he's done all these Mummy movies. He's done the Journey to the Center of the Earth. I feel like this is completely within his range. I feel like now that he's kind of older, he's a little chubby. I don't know if you've seen pictures of him lately, but he's a little bit chubby. I feel like he could completely pass as an inventor, crackpot type of dude. And maybe instead of, because I know when the movie first came out in the 60s, it was like supposed to take place in the past where he invents, like he takes a car, which even though it was made in the 60s, the movie was supposed to take place in like the early 1900s. So he got a car, and the kids were like, oh, holy crap, it's a car, blah. And then it basically turned into a plane, and they were able to fly everywhere. So this one, he basically takes a car, turns it into a plane, and he takes them to some crazy fantasy world. Maybe it's in the sky or something, a la BioShock Infinite, or maybe there's like some crazy world in the sky where, they basically take all the ideas from the first one where it's like, oh, there's all these kids that are, in jail basically, but they turn it into modern times. And I feel like that kind of thing I would love to see, not just because I loved the movie when it first came out, but Brendan Fraser, he needs some work. He needs a hand. So I feel like that needs to happen.
Yeah, and he's not even in the new Mummy movie, so that's kind of...
I know.
Poor
Is
guy.
it Tom Cruise or something, right?
Yeah.
No.
Poor Brendan.
Yeah, I mean, I love Brendan Fraser. I mean, he's like such a cool guy. I don't know what happened, so...
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. I would like to see him in any kind of new franchise, boost his career back, and...
Yeah.
Maybe they should do a remake of Encino Man.
Yeah.
Earth is career.
I would watch that.
And
I'd
revive
totally
a whole
watch
another career that needs revival. Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Even Sean Austin needs something to do.
Yeah.
Do we? So...
Like seriously, last time I saw Pauly Shore, he was in. I don't know if it was made by Netflix, but it was some movie I saw on Netflix where he was. I guess Pauly Shore does stand up now, and all he does now is stand up. And he was talking about hecklers and how people were heckling him, and that this was like a good 8 years ago. Like even Pauly Shore someone needs to throw him a bone.
Was this after Pauly Shore is dead?
Maybe.
Yeah, because that's like a mockumentary about his career.
Yeah.
But it's like by him. It's actually quite entertaining. but it's not great, but it's a little entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. All right. I'll go next.
okay.
My first
Cool.
pick, I chose Back to the Future.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think they've tossed this one around for a while, but rebooting this one as well. The reason I chose it, I don't want to like mess with the past films or anything. I just want to see. I felt like they were very limited in what they could do with the technology back then,
Yeah.
and their ideas were kind of. They're kind of lame for the future. I thought, their outfits. I mean, what, like 2015 or 16, and they're wearing like space suits and.
Oh man. Yeah, I just watched Back to the Future, coincidentally, Back to Future 2 last night. And their
Yeah.
depiction of of the future of 2015 is pretty bad. Like, I mean, it's fun to reminisce about hoverboards and the fact that they almost prophesied the Cubs going to the World Series, because they almost went to the World Series last year, which was great. But you get past those things, there's so many things that are just awful.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So
No.
I would like to
Yeah.
see them, if they are going to do like a crazy vision of the future, maybe the new Back to the Future, take them really far into the future, like way, way far, where it's just so you can go a little wild. But I mean, if they're going to take it, 50 years in the future, have it grounded more in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was fun though to see this crazy future, but
Yeah,
it's
like,
just-
because I feel like the old movies, it was like they went 30 years in the past and then 30 years in the future. But I mean, they had hoverboards. We don't have anything like that. We don't have flying cars. I mean, sure, we have video chat and FaceTime and all that, but I mean, I feel like 30 years in the future, maybe we'll have better phones, but that's about it.
yeah. Our phones are gonna be like just like clear, either like holographic kind of things or tiny sliver of glass or something, completely see through, and I don't know.
yeah, phones are going to be as like portable and easy as like credit cards, if not
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
Like, phone.
Yeah, I mean that's a realistic depiction of what the future might hold. Not like our phones are gonna be like teleportation devices or something.
Yeah. Jared, so is your version of Back to the Future, the reboot, is it going to start and take place in 1985 or at present day?
I say in the present day.
Yeah.
Then it could go back to
Kinda has
1982.
to.
Yeah, that would be cool. Go back to the era in which the first film. Maybe you can tie it all in that way. Like, I need what Marty did needs to be changed. I need to go back to 85.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a reboot and a secret sequel or something,
Yeah,
in a
that'd be
way.
kinda cool.
But I don't know. But it's funny you mentioned that it's like doing that because
What?
in the first original one and the second movie, and we're not gonna talk about the third movie, but in the first and the second one, like the time spaces are in 30-year increments. So you and so that today, like you go back 30 years, pretty much 1985. It'd be 1986. 30 years, and then 30 years from now, in the future, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So.
Although I will say one thing though, if there were a reboot, if it were taking place in the present day, I know the original series went back exactly 100 years. If we went back exactly 100 years, that's like World War One. Like
Ooh,
that could be a whole other thing.
Yeah.
that's
We
pretty
could
sweet.
actually make, Back to the Future 3 would actually be good this time.
Hopefully. Yeah, I'd have a better premise.
Yeah.
Um,
Saving Private Fly.
Oh man, but yeah, it'd be fun to, because part of the fun of Back to the Future 2 was seeing all their just joking on pop culture, what it's gonna be like in the future and stuff. Like you have like the Jaws 3D and just to see how they could do that nowadays. I'm trying to think of what they could do. Probably like spoofing like a new young adult movie or something. It's like vampire, zombie, falls in love with
Pokemon Go.
yeah,
Totally.
Pokemon Go. Yeah, just something lame. And it would be fun to see, our character reacting to, oh my gosh, this is still going on kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my pick.
Cool.
I love it.
Love it. I guess I'll go next. So, my first pick, I'm gonna have to go with Three Ninjas. That's right.
Yes.
For those of you who might not remember, back, during the popularity of Ninja Turtles, the movie, and the show, and Home Alone, you kind of had this, like, a little bit of a, I don't want to say rip-off, but an homage to these favorite things of young little boys. And they decided to make Three Ninjas. So I think that would be really fun to remake that now. Just cause, pretty much.
Yep.
Because those were awesome. You had three brothers, and they had a really cool room where they had a light, emergency light, for when their parents were coming, which I've always dreamed of having one of those. So that, and they all had a cool old Mr. Miyagi type, grandfather, and he gave them all really cool masks and code names. So all that stuff seems like it could totally be updated, fastened today, and still be kind of whimsical and comical.
Yeah, I think like the closest thing that we've gotten recently is probably like those Spy Kids movies or something. Those are terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we could do way better than those.
Yeah.
Totally do better than those.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you made Desperado, man. What happened?
I know, man. I was doing it for my kids. Sure, you were. Yeah. I just want to do three. I just want to see Three Ninjas again.
Yeah,
And
I would love to.
And and I think that it stinks not having these 80s style movies, 80s and early 90s where it's just like, who cares what the story is? Just have some fun and
Maybe.
It's who cares if it's outrageous that three kids are going to beat up, a bunch of older guys. It's fun.
Maybe, yeah. And maybe we can put like a modern day spin on it. Maybe they can be like, they find out their neighbors are Al Qaeda or ISIS, and then they're like, that would be amazing, awesome.
Yeah, they don't want to get arrested for not reporting their Muslim neighbors, so they're going to take justice into their own hands.
Yeah, so, but we definitely need to keep the cool masks, that they had. That's a must.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Anyway, that's mine.
All right,
Three Ninjas.
Good job. I like it.
All right, so I'm going to, for my second one, I'm going to go with, this movie is from the 70s. It's called Death Wish. And it was the Charles Bronson series. And it's basically about, if people haven't seen it, it's about this guy who takes the law into his own hands. So basically, long story short, like his wife and daughter get attacked. Like his wife is murdered and his daughter is raped. And he's like, he like goes postal. He's like, I'm going to take the law into my own hands. So he starts going around New York City and like just shooting people like who are robbing people and like that kind of stuff. And so it's like a complete revenge movie. And since it's a revenge movie, I would love to see Mel Gibson be the person who takes revenge on all these criminals.
Nice.
He has a long history of being excellent at these revenge movies. I mean, anything from Braveheart when his wife died to The Patriot when his kid died to all this other stuff. And kind of like Brendan Fraser, I think he has not been really in any movies lately. And he would be about the right age for what Charles Bronson's character was. So
Nice.
I would love to see him like in a modern Death Wish movie or movie series where he's just just going nuts on criminals. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, and he's such a,
Yes.
he's so good. He's such an intense actor. When he gets intense, man, it's like awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, plus like he's a father, and like I think he has like, I forget how many kids. He has a bunch of kids. He's like the Duggars basically, but he like, so he really takes these father roles seriously, where he would really do it justice.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Have him direct it too.
Oh yeah.
All right, for my second pick, I chose Short Circuit. If you don't remember, Short Circuit is the '80s classic about a robot. It's like a war robot who was
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five.
I'm alive. Yeah, he basically becomes self-aware. I think he gets struck by lightning or something. I forgot. And he's learning how to how to become human as a robot. Anyways, I used to love this movie as a kid. 1 and 2. I watched a trailer for 2 because it's been a long time, but number 2 looks absolutely ridiculous just watching the trailer. So it probably doesn't hold up. Anyways, now with this, the biggest reason I chose this one is I'm obsessed with robots, and I would love this to, just as an excuse for, because I've been keeping up with modern robotics and everything, and just to see what they would come up with for this movie, because Johnny Five was, I watched the Short Circuit recently with my son. A lot of swearing in it, by the way.
Come on, Steve Gutenberg. Children are watching.
It's the robotics in that are incredible. I was like, man, I never really paid attention to like the specifics of the robotics. I was just like, this is so cool. But yeah, it was really neat. Yeah, to see that updated with what they're coming out with now. Oh my gosh, I would love to see that. It has to be said that there was sort of a reboot of Short Circuit with Chappie. Same general idea, but the reason I want this to be remade, in my vision, is because Chappie was not fun in the least. It was so just dark, and I don't know. It lost all the enjoyment factor of a good '80s film. But yeah, you would keep the same kind of thing where Johnny Five has to learn culture and how humans act through TV. So he'd keep a lot of television references, and he'd quote movies and TV to get by. Of course, I would totally bring Steve Gutenberg back. He would probably be the inventor this time, and not not the guy that befriends him. I don't know. I would change it to where, because the first one was Johnny Five was he was kind of a war robot. Like, I think he was being sold for military use. I would make it more lighthearted, because I feel like we've seen that enough, especially with like the new RoboCop, where like, our whole new line of robots are gonna go into Afghanistan, and same with like Iron Man, and I don't know.
You wouldn't want Johnny Five to be a drone.
So I think that part I would change a little bit and make it more of like a race to I'm thinking of like Elon Musk, or like a tech genius racing with one of his competitors to make a fully functioning AI machine, and one of them creates just like a perfect AI algorithm or something and becomes self-aware. Just to keep it more lighthearted, because the first one was a little dark. So that's my Short Circuit. And no white people in brown paint and with fake Indian accents.
No brown face.
Yeah,
right.
No brown face this time.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like nowadays, like, people are a lot more able to add personality to robots. I feel like back in the '80s, at least when they came out, robots were still such a,
It's like foreign to
robotic.
people.
Yeah, like people not like, oh, we can't give them personality. It's just a thing. But I feel like now people are like, oh, they can be cute, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like they can definitely do a lot more with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you guys want to get some good inspiration for when you're thinking about the reboot of Short Circuit, you should check out, you should Google search Boston Dynamics swearing robot. And what it is a really cool tutorial of a robot they were working that they like push over and have pickup
Oh yeah.
and what they did, somebody took their video, their like serious like, demo, and they dubbed over it like with the robot talking and just like, what the crap, Kevin? It's really fun. It's also got language, so
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the actual video, the one that didn't have that on it, where they're like trying to knock down a robot. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Someone added in like cussing to it. It's pretty funny.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
All right. So my next movie is The Rocketeer.
Oh snap!
Yes. Yes, that's right. The Rocketeer. For those of you that are unfamiliar with The Rocketeer was a great underrated movie from the mid to early 90s that was based off of a comic book. It's been a long, long time since I've seen this movie. But it was just amazing. It would take place in the 1940s, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little earlier. Yeah. And back when this movie was made, it was definitely very like, ooh, somebody that has a rocket pack. And you'd always think, oh, what would you do if you had a rocket pack? And this guy is flying around, fighting bad guys, Nazis, or whatever.
Nazis in their blimps.
Yeah, and their blimps. And that would just be an amazing movie to see with today's, in the era of all our Marvel movies. It would be great to see a Rocketeer reboot and what they could do with that, and how cool and futuristic and steampunk they could make it look, but still doing it in the 1940s, but having like a slightly altered 1940s.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to Ian's idea of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, just having like takes place in the past, but kind of an alternate past, and it very, very like sleek and just like whimsical at the same time.
Yeah.
So that would just be amazing. And if they can make the world Tomorrowland, they can remake Rocketeer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up Marvel. I mean, I feel like he could have absolutely been a Marvel character, just the flying aspect alone. And then, I mean, even though his only ability is flying, he would be kind of like a lesser character. I feel like he still could have been kind of a Hawkeye character. Even back then, I mean, that really would have set him apart. Even though he's not a Marvel character, it definitely it's just cool.
I see him like teamed up with Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a broke Iron Man or something.
The poor man's Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd just be really cool to see to see it take place in early century, and just see like the marvel of like this guy is literally flying around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. Yeah, and it was such a great adventure too. And I would like to see this as more of like a whole series. Keep making these adventures, the Adventures of the Rocketeer kind of thing. Like similar to like Indiana Jones. Just build up the character a lot more, and then just make it really fantastical. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do it, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Do it.
And I'm sure I didn't even think about who could play him. I'm sure there's a laundry list of good people who could
Daniel
play.
Day-Lewis.
Moving on. I'm good.
All right, Ian's turn.
All right, my number 3, I'm going to say The Land Before Time. Now, I I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid. It was just so good. Just I mean, even though it had like a really sad part where the mom died and everything, and you had the sharp tooth, which is the T-Rex trying to chase the kids and everything. It was such a fun movie and it's such a good spirited movie. And I'm going to completely ignore the sequels because before we started, Michael was telling me that there are 14 movies total. Which I saw the first 2 sequels and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This was when I was a kid, and when you're a kid you have no taste in anything, so if you're a kid and you think it's terrible, then oh man. So I'm completely discounting those. I'm only talking about the first one, and the reason I'm saying this is so nowadays every cartoon movie is CGI. I don't know if it's because it's easier to, or because kids nowadays only want to watch CGI. I really have no idea. But if I feel like kids nowadays probably have not seen the original Land Before Time, and it would really be great if they could at least know about the story and everything, and if they could reboot that, because I know originally it was a Don Bluth and George Lucas who did that. So maybe you have, I don't know, like Brad Bird, who's done a bunch of Pixar stuff, and maybe like produced by Steven Spielberg, like really take care of it. Nothing against George Lucas. I mean, he's never done anything bad against movies, obviously, clearly. But it was so good, and I would love for a new generation to kind of connect with that.
Yeah, I love dinosaurs, so
yeah,
I'm all for it.
It must have been Don Bluth. He was the leading director in like animated movies for kids that had really serious undertones and themes.
Yeah.
like
Secret of Nim and all that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Jeez, very very heavy duty movies about death. Hey kids, today we're going to talk about what happens when a parent dies.
Yeah, and Disney's kind of ran with that. It seems like almost every movie now, that's like the end of the first act is a parent dying. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
But like,
all right, we get it.
Exactly, but like Land Before Time, that was the most heart-wrenching parent death. I mean, you had Lion King, you had Bambi, obviously, but man, Land Before Time, that just tore your heart out.
Yeah, just awful, and the music was just like tearing on your heartstrings. I was I remember seeing it in the theater as a kid and feeling so forlorn, you know, and like horrible. The movie was like traumatic.
Yeah, even just the soundtrack. Like, I mean, when Howard Shore died, who was the composer of that, like, the day he died, I actually posted on Facebook a song of his from Land Before Time, because I was like, man, this dude gets it.
Yeah.
Great. Way to bring us all down.
Sorry.
But it's a beautiful movie, the first one. I mean, come on, if they felt successful enough to make 14 sequels.
Exactly.
I think the first
they did something right.
They did something right.
Exactly.
And I mean, the sequels are still going, you know.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So,
jeez.
Yeah, the last one was like posted like last year or this year.
Oh,
that's
no.
Crazy. Yeah, I think it's like it must be going for like a Guinness Book of World Guinness Records.
I think they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or lose, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Running movie series.
Yeah. Michael Bay's like, I got this. All right, moving on. I got my third pick. I chose Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Another kind of steampunkish movie.
Yeah, it's very similar in line with Michael's. Now, when this movie was coming out, I was absolutely obsessed with the trailer. I mean, the style of it and
Mhm.
the design of the robots and everything. This just seemed like everything was going right for it. I was just, I couldn't wait. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And I saw the movie, and when you like something so much already before seeing it, you kind of lie to yourself a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, but it doesn't hold up, and it's not very good. And especially now, it's at the time I thought the effects were just incredible, but man, is it dated? It is really dated.
Wow. One of the most forgettable movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think I've forgotten pretty much 80% of the plot. I just don't even care anymore.
Yeah, to be honest, I saw the first half and I couldn't anymore. I had to stop it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I chose it though, because it was such an intriguing idea, and the style was fantastic. I loved the whole metropolis look to everything. And the giant, the robots look like they're like the Iron Giant, style, just very simplistic, and it's like how someone from like the 30s would envision future robots would look, and I love that. There's like an endearing quality to that, and I would love to see them do that now, but using our technology now for one thing, to not make it look like every single scene is shot in a room with a blue screen.
Yes.
Like it looks so bad now, and the robots make them look even better, because watching them now they look kind of lame. I like the design, but they could have totally done better. I would make the whole thing in black and white and not like this amber color or whatever it is. Keep it true to the time. I would lose Angelina Jolie, that's for sure. I'd be fine with Jude Law reprising his role. I mean, I like the guy. But, there's a potential for a great adventure in there. It just was horribly written, and, just the graphics couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Good
pick. It felt very much like they were trying to make a star-powered only movie. Like, oh God, what was that movie? Starshine or Starlight or whatever?
Stardust?
It had like Stardust. Yeah, it had like Robert De Niro and
oh man, yeah,
and all those people. Like, it was like they were like, honestly, it wasn't a bad movie, but I feel like they were really, really relying on star power.
Yeah, another forgettable movie. The movie that I saw and I was like, this was actually pretty good, and then I was like, what did I say? I just completely forgot about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the director, was it Matthew Vaughn, right? He's gone on to do like amazing films. He did like Layer Cake more recently, The Kingsman, and to think of him doing Stardust, it's like,
yeah,
really? All right, maybe not.
For my last ones, I picked. I was reaching a little far back, not too far back, but I chose to go with the Man with No Name trilogy, which is the spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood, directed by Sergio Leone, and and then the brilliant music by wow, man, I feel like I'm going to butcher his last name, but
Ennio Morricone.
Morricone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, his last name is Morricone?
Not Morricone. Morricone, if you, I don't know how else to pronounce his last name.
Sorry, Spanish listeners.
Morricone. Morricone. And, Morricone. Oh, let me put it like that. So, anyway. I just love those movies. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more. Those are such fun, epic, cinematic westerns. Like, we had, in the early aughts, we had like a big, like, western kind of revival. Even though a lot of them were remakes, like 3:10 to Yuma and True Grit, they were still really good. So I would just love to see those movies like basically remade, but still honoring, the originals. And for these movies, it would definitely have to have the same composer. Um, I mean, it would be nice to have Sergio do it, but I think he's super old too. So I don't know if that would work out. But who would play the man with no name? None other than Clint Eastwood's son, who looks
Oh boy,
exactly
Oh,
like Clint Eastwood, Scott Eastwood, who's
that's
already
awesome.
been in one Western, which I haven't seen, but
oh,
he was also in Fury with Brad Pitt. And so I
Oh,
just
that's
think that
right.
would be he's done little things. Like if you saw him in a movie and didn't know his name, it would kind of like it would just pass by like, wait, is that guy looks kind of familiar.
You
And then you
see,
finally like look at it and be
he kind
like,
of squints his eyes a little bit, and you're like, "Whoa,
yeah.
you look you look a lot like Clint Eastwood. And he's like, yeah, well, he's my dad.
I get that, motherpunk."
Yeah, he's my father. Yeah. So anyway, I think those movies would be amazing to see just with like the cinematics. I think getting some of the guys who worked on No Country for Old Men or
Yes.
worked on The Revenant,
Hmm.
I think those would just like some of the best in the business doing like the best landscape, cinematography and just being really gritty too. And I would love to see those movies
Yeah,
remade.
and the
Yeah.
westerns are starting to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Westworld coming up, and
Ooh,
that's gonna be
yeah.
crazy.
Hmm.
That is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, the trailer looked insane. So,
Yeah. That
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that other than
yeah, and you got the was it the Dark Tower? It's being
Yep.
worked on. I would love to see the spaghetti western come back too.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. And then this year, later this year, we're gonna have the Magnificent Seven
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
remake come out with Chris Pine. No, Chris, one of the Chris's,
Chris
Chris
Pratt.
Pratt. Yeah, and Denzel Washington. So
Nice.
that's gonna
Mm.
be really fun. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty pumped about that.
awesome.
So yeah, like let's keep, you know, as much as, I would also love to see a lot more original westerns come out. I would like to see a couple of the classics remade,
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
just yeah, because they totally could be. I feel like it's a category, maybe in horror too, even though they're still kind of bad, but they get the job done. Those
Yeah.
are two of the easiest
Yeah.
categories or genres to remake, and it will be just as entertaining as it was the
Yeah.
first
Oh
time.
yeah. Like just the whole Western genre, we probably could have picked our choices just from that. I mean, there's such good stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My dad was more of a John Wayne cowboy fan. I'm more of a Clint Eastwood cowboy fan and beyond. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood's pretty fantastic.
yeah.
All
Cool.
right,
That's
good picks. Very
Yeah.
good picks, everybody. I have a quick bonus one that I didn't think of it till right before we're recording, so I was like,
Yeah.
man, the movie The Wizard.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, the old '80s, was it '80s? I think
Yeah.
it's definitely '80s. Ben Savage or Fred Savage, where he's got a younger brother who's he's like autistic or something, and he's like a video game wizard, and they travel to this video game tournament, and he plays Super Mario 3 and kills it. It was amazing. And the reason this movie was so fantastic is it was like, everyone calls it like an hour and a half Nintendo commercial, and who
Yeah.
cares? That was amazing.
Exactly.
And your
Thank
point
you.
is, yeah.
Because before
man.
seeing this, we hadn't seen Super Mario 3. You got to realize we didn't have the internet. We don't have news brought to us immediately day of and everything. So to see Super Mario 3 for the first time, everyone was just like, "What?"
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. You see the Power Glove in action, and everyone wanted it because of that. I would love to see that. I would love to see Nintendo like just say, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and make this movie, since I think they're diving into the film world, making a Mario movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see them do a live action film like this, but make it keep their cards close to the vest and don't release any kind of info on any kind of projects they're working on, and then just boom, release it all during the movie, and you're like, what? And new peripherals and like,
yeah.
I don't know. There was a certain magic to that I think is lost these days, and I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, although I gotta be honest too, if they were to take a more realistic take on the movie, the kid would probably be like online comments would be really racist and homophobic, like while he's in game chat.
It would be rated R.
Yeah, rated R just for the. They'd have to mute the mic. Like, all right, we're not gonna have any kind of cross chatter.
Every offensive ethnic slur. I mean, it would.
Yeah, especially when he goes to play the kid with the power glove and he shows him up. The kid would not hold back.
Oh man,
the worst things on the planet.
Yeah.
This is my Nintendo VR. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. Yeah.
It's so bleeping bad.
Wow. It's like, this is my Pokemon Go VR headset. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh. So that is our list of the reboots that we would like to see.
But anyway, thanks for listening, and I think we should tell everybody that our iTunes episodes are update and on and working.
Yeah, we're back on iTunes now, so search for us on iTunes, Silver Screen Cynics, and also our domain name is now up and running. So if you go to silverscreencynics.com, we're up.
Yay!
Yeah, and we're on Instagram now, Silver Screen Cynics on Instagram. It's just going crazy.
Yes, so comment, like us, follow us, subscribe to us, stalk us.
Tell your friends.
It's fine. Tell your friends.
Buy a t-shirt when we start making them.
Oh, we totally should.
Yeah. Merchandising.
Come and get your shots. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We see you all next week.
All right, later.
All right, later.